What's going on, people? Welcome back to United View. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Monday. It's Monday morning. It's a new week. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you guys are feeling all the news. There's a lot. Hey, listen, the news is newsing. We are getting close to a lot of stuff. The news is newsing. Joshua Zirkzee. Josh will be happy with that. Joshua Zirkzee, deal close. Let's be honest. We're waiting for them 3 words. He's our player. I'm going to say it. I've gone early. Not really that early.
It's not really that early yet. To be fair, you'll see in the quotes in just a second. You know when this news starts happening and then people start going like, fab, 3 words coming soon. And he goes, patience. He goes all sort of Jedi. He goes,
says it's coming.
He goes,
on its way.
Patience, my friend. Patience, my friend. It is on its way.
Yeah. Then it will have big capital letters with a siren soon. It might even be today. Very well. But obviously, it's very, very close. Joshua Zirkzee is going to be up there.
You'll get there at the end of it.
I know. It's because I'm trying. It's because I'm trying to remix it.
You're trying to remix these different words.
Originally, I was just Joshua, so I was fine. Kevin Hatchard fixed me up and said this, and it's not that. Then, obviously, because of Josh, he just always likes his name to be Just Josh. Like, even on media accreditations, like, he's just, like, first name Josh, second name Josh. So I was like, oh, we're getting someone called Joshua. May as well just make it about Just Josh a bit. And also, the Zirkzee is Zirkzee, I've been told. So I'm spinning a lot of plates, but I'll do it. That's just fun, isn't it? It's something to do. So, Joshua Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee. The deal is close. So we're going to be talking about that. Casemiro Saudi exit as well. Fabrizio Romano had some stuff to say about that. Donny van der Beek's Girona move. I mean, talk about sins of the past and sort of making a loss on a player. But we'll talk about that because some of the things that were quoted, like 400 grand, 500 grand, and stuff like that, were probably a bit wide. But we'll talk about what that deal actually looks like. And preseason begins today. The players who haven't been involved in the latter stages of the Euros, maybe even McTominay probably won't be there actually. But anyway, the players who weren't involved in the Euros are back today. So that's also interesting to see who rocks up at Carrington. Let's see what happens with James Sancho's situation. I'm sure we'll find out with Mason Greenwood. I've seen that he's back in Manchester training with Shola Torre. Does that mean he's going to report for duty at Man United or not? We're going to discuss it and find it all out. But smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Where are we at right now? We're at 752 people watching in the first 3 minutes. So we're going to be at 1,000 very, very soon. There's 181 of you who have liked the video already, and the rest of you are doing it now. 24% of you, 76% of you have liked the video. So please do smash a like. Get your super chats in, get your members chats in, get your regular chats in, and we will get those read out. Owen, over to you. Joshua Zirkzee.
Well, and also we are 17 subscribers away from 117,000. So we can do that this morning. We can do that this morning. So if you haven't already, subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, click the notification bell. We can do it. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Right, straight into the Joshua Zirkzee stuff, because as Flex mentions, there is a lot to get into this morning on a variety of different stories, beginning with Zirkzee. So last night, there was a lot of information breaking about the Netherlands striker, first of which, Gianluca Di Marzio is saying that Manchester United have now formally informed Bologna that they are going to pay Joshua Zirkzee's £34 million release clause. Now, hold that thought when it comes to the release clause, because there may be a bit of a wrinkle to that one, but we'll continue. Fabrizio Romano has said that Manchester United and Joshua Zirkzee almost there. Manchester United have now informed Bologna about an agreement reached with Zirkzee over personal terms. It's all done with Joshua Zirkzee's agent. Of course, there was a little bit about the commissions, the agent fees. Gianluca Di Marzio reporting that the commissions / agent fee could be around 15 million euro, which again is quite high, but this is a low cost deal when it comes to the release clause. So that's also kind of the reason why AC Milan were ruled out the race. They didn't want to pay that. Now, I mentioned there's a bit of a wrinkle when it comes to the release clause because Manchester United are talking to Bologna about a possible new deal structure, or they can just trigger this £34 million release clause. But there is some discussion of, well, we don't necessarily have to do it. Now, as far as how quickly this could be, as I mentioned, Romano's been replying to individual accounts. Someone asked him, "Hey Fab, when's we gonna get the when are we gonna get Here We Go? Is it gonna be soon?" And he said, "Very soon. It's just about deciding if they agree on a deal structure between clubs, as Bologna owe 50% to Bayern Munich. So Bayern Munich are also going to profit off this quite heavily, or United will trigger the clause. But the outcome is clear. The clear outcome is that Zirkzee is on his way to Manchester United. And also, when it comes to this and some other deals, as Romano also said, Manchester United have the green light from both Joshua Zirkzee and Matthijs de Ligt to join the club too. Both players have spoken to Erik ten Hag, and Manchester United are now ready to advance on the club side in the coming days. It's all approved on the salary/commission also for Zirkzee. So this one looks like it is going to be done, as Romano says. It's a here we go very, very soon. The deal is almost there. There's been a total agreement on the player side of things, on the agent side of things. Now Manchester United just have two options. They can go to Bologna and say, hey, here's £34 million. This is the release clause, all done. Or, which is what they're doing right now, they're going to Bologna and saying, now we could trigger this release clause. We've got a total agreement on everything, but we're aware that Bayern Munich has a 50% release clause. So maybe we can structure a different deal. Maybe long-term, it might be a little bit more than £34 million, but maybe it's just a little bit less upfront than just here's £34 million totally in the release clause too. But this one is very, very close, seemingly.
Yeah, we're trying to just work out, the best way to sort of navigate the fee. I mean, with £34 million, again, it's not. I know we're not one to talk because we ain't got loads of money, but it's it's relatively low cost in today's market. 34 million gets you sort of this level of striker, really. Unless you strike a deal that's crazy for a readily proven player for a really low price. Most 34 millions gets you like Nicholas Jackson. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was 30 million. He's coming on. He's quite young, coming from Villarreal. He's on his way up. It gets you that up and coming player. I've got my head around the deal and stuff. What I found interesting, and also in the chat, and we've all been talking about, I just put out on Twitter yesterday. I just wanted to know people's thoughts of getting a younger up and coming striker versus getting a more experienced one and stuff. And loads of people having a say. And do you know what? I would say pretty much everyone. I didn't really see it. This is only in my community or my followers. There was quite a lot of people saying this is the way to go. And also just one here, I just want to bring to the table. Rich Force One said, what proven striker is available that won't break the bank or continue the trend of spending big for short-term gain? We have to continue to add quality and build for the future. Someone else said, maybe too similar profile to Højlund, but Højlund is going to be in his second Premier League season and hoping Van Nistelrooy makes an impact. Someone said, Red Devil in Australia said, wouldn't be my choice, but we'll wait and see when the season starts. They have hired a lot of good management at the club right now, and you have to give them a chance. And then someone said to me, they are grown men, both Højlund and Zirkzee. This is just MUFC, right? Got Qatar badge once, obviously Qatar in. And I clicked on their thing, and they was basically saying we have to get Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel's come in. And so probably got some crazy takes. But they said to me, Owen, they're grown men, both Højlund and Zirkzee. They're playing in the men's game for the biggest club in England, and that's exactly what they should be judged by. Stop babying grown men. He is not 16. So a variety of different opinions. All I basically said is there's a young, unproven striker coming to the team, which is true. But he's a man. He's playing for England. Stop babying him, Flex. But basically, most people think like, you know what, this is the right way to go, and it's exciting. It's another young up and coming player. Again, I don't know loads about him. I don't. Obviously, the Hatchard as informed us, but I just think it's.
We have the clip of that, by the way. We have the clip.
Yeah.
Of that.
Are we running VT?
We can in a bit if you want. It's there if you want.
I thought you meant it was ready.
No, it is ready. I can play it now if you want. It's up to you.
Since you brought it up, may as well. Yeah.
You can just.
I'll cue you. I'll tell you what. Here is Kevin the Hatchman Hatchard on his breakdown of just Joshua Zirkzee.
And look, he's a really interesting player, right? There are not many players like him in the sense that he's quite a tall guy. He's fairly quick. I think he's 6'3". But he's not mega good in the air. He's not that classic centre forward that you might think, that he's kind of, you want to pump in a load of crosses and he's gonna win them like a Füllkrug, somebody like that. He's not really like that. He's a guy that loves to take people on, loves to glide past them, wants to drop in, wants to link play. If you look at his stats in terms of like his passing ability, very, very good. You know, he's got plenty of assists this season for Bologna. And he was kind of perfect for what Thiago Motta wanted to do with Bologna, which was to have that presence in attack, but also somebody who was really good at all the link-up play and could make it stick and kind of let the other players, like Lewis Ferguson, before he got injured, they had a really good click, you know, getting forward from midfield. So he is unusual in that way. He can run in behind, but he won't always run in behind. You know, Rasmus Højlund, for example, is more that guy that will be trying to constantly,
good runs,
you know,
we just don't find
runs. Yeah, exactly. But look, Josh is really, really good. But what we don't know if he can do yet, hand on heart, is we don't know if he can score 20, 25 goals a season, because he's never done it. The one thing I would say is that I remember when he first broke through as a teenager at Bayern, and I think he definitely scored in his debut, and I think he might have got the winner the following game. He might even.
I saw a thing where he said he scored three. He scored 3 goals off his first 3 shots. I saw a stat of
yeah.
He got a few goals really quickly. I saw that.
He definitely got a winner against Freiburg in his second game. I remember that because I think I did the game. And the first game, I think he might have got the winner in the first game as well. But he burst onto the scene and was doing really, really well. But it's Bayern, right? So they've got tons and tons of quality. He went to Parma. You wondered, is he really going to get to where we hoped he would get to? But then he went to Anderlecht and he scored a lot of goals in Belgium. Again, then you're thinking, well, is that the level? That's a good gateway, but is it the level? And then he goes to Bologna and works with Thiago Motta. And Motta's done a really good job and has now left. But it has done a really good job with him. So I'll be really interested to see what happens. I can see why United would look at him because he's different to what they have. And I think you need that sometimes. He and Højlund could play as a 2. I could see that. But I could equally see him playing as that lone front man, dropping in and kind of getting wider players involved. So, yeah, he's not the finished article. He's not a slam dunk, but I think he's a really interesting player.
A really interesting player there, Flex. Yeah, very interesting player. And again, it's always very useful because I'm going to tell you a secret here, Flex. I don't watch Bologna every single week. I'm not. No, I'm not. My season ticket to Bologna must be lost somewhere. I must have lost that one. But do you know what is quite funny, actually? Looking on the humorous side of things, of course, he had his first minutes at the Euros the other day. He came on, for, what was it, like 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, something like that. Didn't have the best 5-10 minits, must be said. I don't think he might have completed a successful pass and lost the ball a couple of times, which means rubbish. He's terrible. Pull the deal. Oh, I saw what I needed to see at the Euros, Flex. I saw in those 5-10 minutes here. I was not blown away. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. That's why he's £34 million. I'm telling you now, Fleck. That's why he was fortunate to get called up to the Dutch squad for the Euro.
That's why Weghorst plays ahead of him. We should have brought Weghorst back instead of this kid.
When every time Weghorst was touching the ball, I was doing this, right? This is what I was doing, okay?
What is wrong with you?
It was the soundboard, man.
Feed the horse and he will score.
Yeah, he's brilliant when he came on as well. Defensive blocks. It was nuts.
Weghorst, Veggie, hey, listen, Netherlands Veggie's different, you know.
He is. He's a hero. Or as Kenny would say, Weghorst. That's what. But Mertiless, Weghorst. But with Zirkzee, look, you mentioned about this is what it gets you with the money, but I don't know if it necessarily does. I mean, we signed a young striker from Serie A last season. It cost us considerably more than that. So I think this is probably why Manchester United are also so attracted to it, because
because
it's a relatively low cost deal to do. I mean, that's why they were saying about the agent fees. That's why they're happy to pay them, because they're like, well, it's 34 million quid we're paying. Like, in terms of the market, we think we're getting a player below market value, really. So we're relatively happy with that. And it's 8th of July. Hopefully this one should be sort of tied up prior to the sort of preseason tour. Something like that might be a bit of a delay, because obviously he's gone far in the European Championships of actually getting him into training and what have you. But no, look at this as pretty positive. And really, like we said earlier on, we're looking at here we go.
Yeah.
Anytime now.
Yeah.
I
think him, and I know this is a bigger push. We're not talking about Matisse de Ligt during this game, but I think he and de Ligt will be in for tour. I think those are the two that will, when you say it's like usually
it's
two.
It's just a case of like, when's tour start?
That's tour start. 27th of July is the first game. So they'll probably go there on like the 25th, maybe.
Yeah, so they might be there. Yeah, it just depends again how far they go in the Euros. Hopefully not too much further.
But because they're both not playing, well, oh shit, yeah. Oh my god, there's only 2 games. Oh my god, we're playing them.
That's what I mean. But
those two aren't actually playing. But
they still get their holidays, don't they? They still. That's
they get their holidays. But it's like with new signings, you could see Joshua Zirkzee sort of saying like, "Yeah, I know I've got holidays, but I just want to get back, mate." Like, do you know what I mean? I've been training. I've been on camp, so just give me like a week or two. I'll go LA or something, go Raven, go Vegas or whatever.
That's what I mean. Even with that, because
that's still 2 weeks.
They're guaranteed to play a third place playoff now, so they're guaranteed until really the end of the tournament. So then you add in.
If we knock them out, he'll probably play in the third place playoff.
Because when are the final is this coming weekend, right?
Yes, 14th.
Yeah, final is this coming weekend. So then if you say, right, 2 weeks, maybe like 2 weeks, 10 days, sort of a holiday after that, you're looking towards the end of the month. So maybe it might be a case of they do, then they're on tour. Maybe they're not there for the first game, that sort of thing. So there is still going to be this bit of a delay, and that's where it comes with all of the international tournaments and something like that. But still, it does look like the actual sort of crux and finer details of the deal are going to be done very soon. And it's going to be probably one of many that's coming up in the next few weeks. There's going to be a lot of Dutch announcements coming, Flex, over the next. Zirkzee, de Ligt, Rude, Ready Hart.
It's mental what's actually happening. We've just turned into we're basically Ajax. Well, the Netherlands.
When I was doing the Netherlands game the other day on Playback. Be sure to join us on Playback, by the way. Links in the video description below. And I was thinking, is there an international team in more recent years, apart from England, that Manchester United are so closely associated with? It's got to be really the Netherlands, isn't it? Stemming from 100%. Sort of the Louis van Gaal era. Because when we were managed by Louis van Gaal, we were always linked to a million Dutch players anyway, and had a few, whether it was Daley Blind or Memphis Depay or whoever, so that was that part of it. And then now, of course, we've got, once again,
had Donny, which didn't count, but we got him.
We're linked to a bunch of Dutch players again. Our manager's Dutch, our backroom staff's
all players from the league.
Yeah, or players from the Eredivisie as well. Yeah,
no. Even Mason Mount's been in there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're pretty heavily linked. But when it does come to Malacia, when it does come to Zirkzee, though, from what I've seen, which is very limited, obviously Kevin Hatchard's seen way more than I. The sort of emphasis is he's a very different striker to Rasmus Højlund. He is very much a drop off, link play up. Yes, there's going to be question marks about how many goals he can score, but it's more about knitting the play together. And actually, he is deceptively tall. Like when he did come on in the game at the weekend, and he was standing on the sideline, you realize he's a big guy. He's a big guy, and he's someone that has been earmarked for a long time as being someone that could become massively successful in the future. That's why he was at Bayern so young. Not really worked out. Kind of taken the long way to get back to hopefully close to the top. And there have been instances in the past, haven't there, where that's worked out, for some players. Sometimes it's not a straight linear line. Sometimes it takes a long way around. Sometimes you have to get those other experiences. So fingers crossed those experiences have benefited him, and hopefully it benefits Manchester United too.
Yeah, for sure. Some of the comments here. It was from John James. John James says, seriously, Jay-Z, I like that. Oh my God, Jay-Z.
Yeah, but like
Jay-Z, mate.
But we don't really say Z, do we?
I do. Jay-Z, mate.
No, but
the rock in the building, mate.
You don't know.
I do when I say Jay-Z.
No, but when you
I don't call Jay-Z. I've never called Jay-Z the rapper Jay-Z. Never.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that's because he's American, isn't it? When you're spelling something out, spell out the word zebra.
Z-E-B.
Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah.
But
what I'm saying is for this, I'm going to call him Jay-Z, and I'm going to make some merch that has like an outlay of him and his hair.
It doesn't even sound like Z, does it?
Yeah, but Jay, it's his initials, isn't it?
Jay-Z. Zirkzee. It's not Zirkzee. Really.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just wanting to.
And that, by the way, as well, that's not Jay-Z. That's DDP.
Diamond Dallas Page.
Well, you can make that noise, but Jay-Z started doing it, and then DDP started suing him, and suddenly settlement. Yeah, settlement.
Yeah. Guess what? The GOAT paid the money and said, "I'll still take the signal. Hold your money. It's mine." Yeah, well, rock in the building.
DDP got a lot of money from it. Yeah, a lot of money.
They tried to give Jay-Z a diamond cutter. Didn't work. Well,
I think Jay-Z tried to give him a lot of diamonds to try and pay him off. You know what I mean?
And he did. And he took the money. Diamond Dallas Page sold himself. That's what he did.
I think he probably still gets money to this day for it.
Probably. Really good deal, to be fair. Both happy, isn't they? I mean,
trademarked a hand sign.
Yeah. And he's not short of a few bob, is he, Jay-Z? So
and it makes more sense for DDP. It's a diamond in pages. That makes more sense.
Yeah, but the rock in the building.
Nah.
I think we're going a bit off here, but I want it to be Jay-Z because I just do. So that's what I'm going to call him. You know,
really,
rock in the building.
Not really, really
work. Diamond Dallas Page anymore. He sold it, so
he didn't sell it. He still owns it. Trademark.
Do you know what's funny? about this? You're defending wrestling, and I'm defending hip hop. I'm like, well, he just bought him out, mate. Just paid.
Wow. It's kind of, you know what I mean. Well, and it was hip hop versus wrestling, and guess who won? Wrestling. Yeah, that's who won.
Yeah, well, The Rock tried to made a song with Wyclef because he wanted to, wrestling wasn't enough. Just wanted to make songs and stuff. You know?
Well, a lot of people have tried to do that, and that didn't work out.
Didn't work out.
Do you know, Macho Man Randy Savage has got a diss album.
Has he? To who?
Like Hulk Hogan and lots of people. It's like a rap album.
I mean, you learn something new every day.
Yeah. Really it's not good. It's not
good. But meanwhile, guys, make sure you guys do check out Owen Wrestle News 365555. Link is in the video description below. And John James said, which is what the whole point of this was, seriously, JZ brings us unique dimension up front. We will create so much more and have better quality chances. He's that good, in my opinion. Big up everyone in the chat. That our conversation just took a left turn. It's just what happens here on United View. It's just why it makes it so unique. UV in it. Unique view. That's what we are. Unique view. Super chat from Lil Yo-Yo says, Joshua Zirkzee or JZ. What do you guys prefer? Oh, but bloody hell. Or Jay-Z. I'm calling him
said Jay-Z. Z. You said Z straight away.
Yeah, because we just agreed because you're right. But I want it to be Jay-Z. Just why not? Let's have someone called Jay-Z, man. Why not? Let his comps just have loads of Jay-Z. Yeah, like Jay-Z's like after J. Cole. He's my GOAT, really. So maybe I think Jay-Z's top. Anyway, he's in my top 2, so it's a big thing to me. Jay-Z. I'm going to call him Jay-Z.
I'm going to call him Joshua.
Josh says, Josh, the real Josh says, don't try to steal my name. So I don't
exactly trademark it, Josh.
We'll pay. We have to. Yeah, exactly. You have to pay. I don't know. We'll see, Lil Yo-Yo. Let him get here first and score a goal, and then we'll work it out. Abner says, Abner, because when there's a song made for him, it will just change. Abner says we literally had the Prince of Dutch football back in the day, Jordi Cruyff. The Dutch connection goes way back. Yeah,
it does indeed.
It does. We are at 1,800 people watching live, nearly 600 people. We're at 547, 48 now likes. We want to get to 1,000 because we're well on our way to 2K watching live. So make sure you guys do that. Also, go on.
Someone said in the chat, Flex would just call him Quinton.
No, I'm not that bad. Oh, I'll tell you what, I need. Benny. I need to reach out to him actually. No, he's gone. Make sure he's good. What was I going to say?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about Casemiro?
People are angry that I said J. Cole like for GOAT. Like Jay-Z's my GOAT, but it's like I just rate J. Cole. But obviously J. Cole said the sorry thing, so I know he's gone down. He's a hot topic right now. Let's move on to Casemiro.
Yes, Casemiro, a Saudi exit is still on the horizon, possibly, Flex. Fabrizio Romano saying yesterday that Casemiro's exit from Manchester United remains a concrete possibility for the summer. Saudi Pro League clubs are still in contact with his camp to discuss terms, as reported back in April/May. Man United are open to letting him leave in order to bring in a new midfielder. So once again, another story that seemingly won't go anywhere or won't go away is Casemiro's links to Saudi. But it's a weird one, this now, isn't it? Because it's just that. They're just kind of links. It doesn't appear to be anything like, should we say, super like concrete? You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, there's interest. And I suppose that the thing, you can look at it with a lot of these sort of moves to the Saudi Pro League, because they do tend to happen when they happen relatively like fast, like from sort of official interest to actual deal being done. It doesn't really take that long. And maybe, again, it's just a case of waiting for sort of these competitions to end. Not that Casemiro is involved in them. He'll be coming back and reporting to Carrington today, but to see what happens with this one. But the links are still there.
And I think the fact that Romano is discussing it or putting it in the forefront, saying, possibility, wages in Europe is a problem, but, possibility of Saudi, there's interest, etc., etc. It's something that can develop fairly quickly, though. With the money that's about and the money that could be brandished in a deal like that from some Saudi, it's not something where it's going to be a sticking point, I think. So I think they're going to get back in for preseason from today. So Casemiro should be in there today, really, shouldn't he? With breaking news, because Samuel Lutka said Van Nistelrooy is there, and so is Rene Harker. They're all there. But anyway, we'll get there. It's a matter of Casemiro will probably get back in, have some conversations, and I think his agent. Let's be honest. I think his agent will be looking at stuff and sorting things out. And do you reckon that? Because here's the thing: Erik ten Hag's clearly had his own shit to sort out in terms of his own future. How much planning do you think he's done for next season? And the sort of like the 1v1 conversations. Do you think they'll be saved for? Right, when preseason on the 8th starts, I'll go knock on his door, sit in his office, man to man, have a chat, see where I'm at, and he goes for it now. Or do you think he's had, because obviously he's had phone calls with some of these players that he wants to bring in. Has he had one-to-one phone calls, do you reckon? It's like, right, Cass, here's the plans for next year. We are looking to bring in, Ugarte or someone like that. So your playing time's going to be less, but I still respect you. And do you think that's been had, or do you think Casemiro's like, to my agent, right, whatever, let me just get back training and see? I wonder what's happened so far.
I think it's probably a combination of the things. I mean, Ten Hag did say towards the end of last season, and I know there was a point he did actually stop being included in these meetings as his position started to become less secure. But for a while, he was going, no, we've got these planned meetings. We've got all this stuff going on, these recruitment meetings. And maybe, he was probably involved, talk about Casemiro was involved there anyway, or who could be leaving next season, blah, 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 that kind of thing.
Get them likes up, people. Perhaps the wrong time, but come on, England.
It's never the wrong time for that. Nubian Pharaoh. Never, ever, ever.
Nubian. Acknowledge him.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, Flex, when that was all going on with Southgate. I mean, you would have seen it on the channel, those that watched the game with me the other day. I was a very angry man at Gareth Southgate for a lot of that game.
Where are you now? Well,
it's the same way that really after that.
Who's angry now?
The same way that it was after the Slovakia game, really, which is like, real. It's very contrasting emotions, isn't it? It's like really, obviously, really happy we're through, excited, all that kind of stuff, but still, like, it doesn't wash away kind of the route of getting there. You know what I mean?
France doing the same thing, mate. They're the best in the world. France doing the same thing, mate. They've only scored 1 goal, mate.
Yeah, look, it's true. It's just
so
once again.
What I've learned, we actually because you're right, but what I've actually said to myself is there's actually no point in doing this. There's no point, like in terms of like dissecting the sins and stuff. Because you know what, clearly, it's been a really weird Euros. No one's really done anything. Spain looked good. Portugal weren't great, and I thought they would be. Germany, home nations, they're gone. France, they're just jammy. Deschamps, if he hadn't have won significant stuff, he's basically Southgate.
But the funny, you say this, yeah, because I did the same speech before the game. I said, look, I went, I say these things about the substitutions and style of football. I know it's not going to change. Because that would be the madness, assuming like England are gonna click in, you know what I mean, to like this kind of thing like that. It's not gonna happen. And again, I don't care the way that they get there. If England were to win a trophy in my lifetime, of course it would be.
That's all that matters. Owen.
Fantastic. But I do think about people like, let's say, Sven-Goran Eriksson. And I must wonder, he must look at that and go, because I've seen people go, look at Gareth Southgate's record in these knockout games. I go, I bet Sven sits there and goes, if I had those draws, I'm playing Brazil 2002 quarterfinals. I'm playing Portugal twice in quarterfinals, I'm having tough draws. Meanwhile, this guy's facing, no disrespect, but, you know, Switzerland, Denmark or whatever.
Slovakia.
Exactly. And I bet he's like, you know, you can't keep getting away with it. That's what he's probably thinking, But probably. Look, I'm happy for him to get away with it, you know.
Mate,
but
we'll take it. We'll take it. Like,
we'll take it indeed.
We're in the semi-finals. Like we're in the semi-finals. Like.
But I honestly flex.
And I said it would go extra time. It'd be horrible. We'll probably just nick it.
That's what I said as well. That's what I said as well.
We're not shocked. We have to just
go. But honestly, when it's the 75th minute, and you've been calling for subs for like 15 minutes, and they're saying on commentary, there's no activity on the England bench, and then we go 1-0 down, and the first thing he does is turn around and go, come on, you go, Gareth, go, please, just don't. It's reactive, and the thing is, and this is the annoying thing, isn't it, is that you can be reactive against Slovakia and Switzerland, but let's say hypothetically, and I don't really want to count my chickens before, you know, they roost and that kind of stuff. But let's say hypothetically we got to the final, and let's say hypothetically it's Spain. You cannot do that against Spain. You can't. But
what you can do is the final. Anything can happen.
You never know. But I don't want to go down that route too much today.
No.
You know.
So hold that, because you said Southgate's rubbish, but he's in the semi-final again.
But two things can be true.
He said we'll be out in the quarters. You said
I did. But then once I saw the draw, that kind of does get reevaluated a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I said we'll get to the final and win. So
and you laughed when you said that as well.
I did, but I said it. But let's. What are we doing? Finishing off on Casemiro.
Yeah, like we'll see what happens basically with Casemiro.
That's exactly. We've got just under 2,000 people watching, 675 likes. Big up to everyone liking the video. We're well on our way to 1,000 likes. There's no reason why we can't easily, guys. We're at 683 now. Likes are flying up. So please get us to 1,000 likes. And we're at 169,988 likes. So like 12 away, guys. Come on, 12 subscribers away.
Oh, if you said likes, I was like 170,000 likes or whatever. Flex likes.
No,
subs.
Did I say likes? Subscribers. Subscribers. Sorry, subs.
And so it's 169,994.
Oh, there you go. It's gone up. Oh, yeah, I need to refresh. There you go. So we're even closer. Yeah, there you go. Go to the live thing. So come on, guys. 6 more. It's got to be 6 of you right now in the chat that have gone, oh yeah, I'm always on United View. I've never actually subscribed. Let me just hit that subscribe button right now. Out of 1,912 people, there is 1,000,000% 6 people who haven't subscribed. 1,000,000%. So please do. We're at 995. People are going. They're remembering. Be careful.
I know. Because you don't want to pay too much attention to it.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's go. Let's go.
Next, Donny van der Beek. This was quite an interesting one because there was a lot of surprising sort of outrage about this over the weekend, Flex. I don't know if you kind of saw this. So Donny van der Beek, he's on his way to Girona. This comes from The Athletic and lots of other outlets saying this, saying Donny van der Beek is close to a move from Manchester United to Girona. The La Liga side is set to pay an initial €500,000 for the 27-year-old midfielder. And people went, oh, what? We signed him for 40 million, 500K. Manchester United, nothing's changed. We're a complete piss sake of a club. But there is a bit more to this one too. Total add-ons package of €20 million, of which €5 million are seen as realistically achievable. So actually, it's around
a mental deal though.
It's around
Jesus Christ.
5 million, could go as high as 20 million. But you ask yourself why? Why is it so low? How can you sign a player for 40 million quid, I think it was, and go down this much? Well, you can kind of actually see when you just look at his Man United career in general. Van der Beek joined United in 2020 from Ajax, fresh from helping them to the Champions League semi-finals under Erik ten Hag for the 2018-19 season. He has gone on to make only 62 appearances for United in the 4 years since, scoring 2 goals, one of which was on his debut, by the way.
Yeah, we lost to Palace.
It continues on by saying Van der Beek spent the second half of the 21-22 campaign on loan at Everton, appearing just 7 times before a short-term move to Eintracht Frankfurt in January of this year. He played only 8 times for the Bundesliga side, but was largely on the periphery and was left out of the club's Europa League Conference League squad. Van der Beek has 19 caps for the Netherlands national team, but hasn't featured for them since March of 2021. So, well, again, that's how you can sign someone for 40 million and how it can go down so much to an initial fee of 500K, could rise to sort of 5 million, could go as high as 20 million. But what you're really looking at is a guy that hasn't played consistently for 4 years. Four years. So that'll wipe your value pretty quickly.
And the buying club doesn't know what they're getting. And that's reflected in the maximum what those sell-ons could be if he is the player that he was, versus how low they can be if he is or continues to be the player he is now. And when you read that sort of chronological order of events, right, of what's happened to him, that's flipping mental, you know. Like, it just shows you how quickly football can change. Whether it's like players who are a bit higher up the chain, like when we're saying how, like, you know, when we went back to the World Cup and we were like, Mason Mount was starting in the 10, he was the main guy. Like 2 years later,
now
he could be further away from the team. Like Rashford used to be, he's not even on the plane. Sancho was like, oh, is it me or Saka? Who's better? Million miles off it. Might never get back in. Like, so it's like football can really, really throw you up curveballs. And do you know what this is about? Because it's not about ability, because we've seen him play to a certain level. This is where the mentality of footballers really, really comes into play. You know, you look at someone like Ross Barkley that comes to mind, you know, a big gap out of football after the Villa situation, had a few loans, went to Nice, didn't he? And then he's like, it's just not clicking, gets his mind right by hook or by crook, does really, really well at Luton. Now Unai Emery signed him to play Champions League. He's going to be playing Champions League next year. And people were saying, tell you what, he could, England squad maybe, you know, little, you know, would you take him on a free in your team, you know? So he was completely out. Obviously, Dele Alli has had a lot of off-field situations going on as part of that, but also where he was in his peak, you know, prime Dele Alli under Poch, and look at where he's had to, you know, where he's had to find himself. And I've seen some videos of him getting back on it, ready for the comeback. People don't realize the mentality you actually need to be an elite level footballer at the highest level. And Donny's got to 4 years, you know, he came as the man, he was nearly going to go to Real Madrid, mate.
Yeah.
Real Madrid, didn't work out COVID. Then you go Manchester United, go, I'll tell you what, with my, you know, still Man United, still massive, 40 million, still a lot of money. I'm good. It goes from bad to worse, injuries, confidence, then your loans, left out of the Europa League squad. And he's not injured. That's them going, nah, mate. Nah.
And that's after they've just signed him. They're like, we're in the Europa Conference League or whatever. This new signing, have a look. No, they don't want to do it. And again, that's not an outlier, is it? You know, it's been like that everywhere. That's not just Manchester United. That's been there. Everton, Frankfurt. I mean, again, I know he's had injuries too.
Yeah.
And again, I think this is another really good example of with Man United fans of okay, well, what do we actually want here? Because we come on here and people will get involved in the chat or the comments, and they'll go, just cancel these contracts, get rid of these players. And then we get a situation like this where we've attempted over the last 2 seasons to sell Donny van de Beek, and we haven't been able to do it. Like, it's ended up last season, we thought, oh, he's going to go up permanently, and nothing happened initially, by the way. You know, turned down a couple of moves. It was linked to, I think, Luton, and a move in France didn't happen. Eventually, it's a loan to Eintracht Frankfurt, and that had a buy option of, what was it, like 15 million euro? And like you said, they sort of scoffed it. We're just
want to exercise it.
We're just not going to do that.
We haven't seen enough.
Exactly. That's not value for money. And then we now get a deal where, on the face of it, is it a massive loss? Yeah, but it was always going to be. For a lot of these players, they're similar. When we're talking about moving these players on, they're all going to be massive losses because we overpaid for him in the first place. And with Donny, it's not as if Donny's on massive wages as well. He's not one of the highest earners at United, but there is going to be this kind of embarrassment really involved in moving a lot of these players on, because we're going to have to once again revisit the bad business that we've done over the course of the last decade or so. So, and Donny falls into that category of, not that it's like, oh, he's a terrible player. Because like you said, it's no doubting ability. What he really needs at this point, he just needs to go somewhere, whether it is Girona, which, by the way, could be a really fruitful move for him.
Yeah,
you know, and talk
Girona,
about where they are.
The one City? Is that one?
I believe
City
I think it's the City one, isn't it? Let me just double check. They're in Champions League, aren't they? So, you know,
so that's actually not that bad. They're actually in the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that could, again, it could work out well for him, or he could go there and be on the periphery again. The point being is, without wanting to sound too callous and cold, Manchester United just have to get to a point where it's just, well, it's nothing to do with us anymore. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with us anymore. We've got to just move on. And if we can end up, and you hope that it does work out, because if it does work out, we get quite a bit of money for it if it does work out.
Yeah, so, I wonder what, you know, for it to rise to, you know, sort of 20 odd, or the achievable 5 or whatever the lower end. I wonder if it's like, if he makes 50 appearances, then we get that, or, you know, amount of goals or assists. I wonder what it actually is.
It might be like a bit like, you know, with Sancho and Champions League last season, probably something about, you know, latter stages.
Get out of the group stages.
Something like that, maybe.
We shall see. However, congratulations. I want claps in the chat, because you are here on United View, which has 170,000 subscribers and 8. So big up to every single one of you. Big up to the community. Thank you to the community. Sitting here, 3 years later. How old are we? 3 years or 4 years?
3.
It was our anniversary. It was our anniversary the other day, isn't it?
It was every year. 3 years.
Sitting here 3 years later, after having, you know, deciding to start this channel, 3 years later, we have a community that's 170,000, and we're well on our way to 200K. Sick. So sick. Humbling. Grateful. Just really, really pleased. And the work that everyone does here, Owen, Josh, KG, you know, we've got Ben in the background, and everyone who's been part of this journey as well. All the guys who come on the show, I'm not going to name them all. There's so many, but you all know who they are. They know who they are. Everyone who comes on the match views, everyone who's come on and done interviews, players, ex-players, pundits, media people, and most of all, above all of them people I just mentioned, you guys, because if you lot ain't there, 170K strong, there can't be a United View. They can't. Like, when I see, and I'm gonna be honest, and again, I might miss people off here, so I'm gonna say everyone, but when I see people that are here every single morning without fail, Lil Yo-Yo, Kristen, Joe Blackman, Steffi Jenks, Aminor, John James is here pretty much every day. VK, I remember him always here. Vicky Witterbird, WJ Barrett, people like that. Like, again, please don't take it. There's so many. These are just off the top of my head. Court Star, I always see you. Like, it's crazy. Shahil, I always see you. Simon McGill, look, all these. I see you every single morning. It's mental. It's mental. So plus the silent listeners, people who don't always, you know, because it's. We've got over 2,000 people watching. Not 2,000 people are all typing in there right now. So there's people that just have us on in the background, and, you know, Keegan's another one. Kenny Fan TV. Yeah, it's mental. So thank you. And road to 200K.
I can only echo what Flex has said. I haven't been here the whole time. There was a brief period, an Owen-less period of United View, the good old days.
I can't even remember what that was like. I can't remember you not being here.
But yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? It's really. We were chatting the other day about, because obviously with the Euros going on, we had this sort of weird realization that we went, oh yeah, when everything sort of started, the Euros was on at the time. And to Flex's point, like obviously, like I said, wasn't here from the start, but you sort of start these things, you have no idea where they're going to go or what they're going to turn into or anything like that, you know? So
I'm in trouble. Sorry, Show Ramen's another one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
well,
show.
And
the biggest of them all. The Pharaoh, you know, and like someone said there, what about us in the free seat? Literally, again, you guys know what I mean. Literally, all of you. You all know me as a person. You know how grateful I am to every single one of you. And we're gonna keep building, man. We're gonna keep building.
Yeah, exactly. And I say it all the time. And I know you share the same thoughts as this. I consider myself and all of us just unbelievably lucky that we get to do this, every day, every morning, or whenever it is, and click the go live button or put something up, and to know that you guys are there and inviting us into your wherever you are, your homes, your work, your tablets, your phones, or whatever.
Your families who are annoyed, your missus or your husband who's like, oh, I keep hearing your voice all the time.
Exactly. It's crazy. So wouldn't swap anything for the world. We are incredibly fortunate.
Yeah, big up, man. Oh, there's pictures of Ruud van Nistelrooy as well. Getting into
I saw something. Well, actually, we can do that on this preseason stuff actually now. So yes, but apparently the Ruud and maybe Rennie Harker stuff isn't maybe coming till tomorrow. But what does start today is pre-season, and there's a lot going on with all of this pre-season stuff. Flex, actually, The Athletic wrote a really good piece yesterday talking about everything to expect. What is happening today? Well, the first group of United players will be reporting for pre-season today, that being July 8th. Those who are returning from their summer break will undergo a series of fitness tests to gauge their levels after the break from training. You never want to come back overweight or anything like that. There's always a couple of stories about that, isn't there? People enjoyed the holidays too much. Now, the club's players who did not go on international duty packed up for the summer after United's FA Cup win against Manchester City on June 1st, meaning they've had just over a month off. There'll be a staggered return for players who have been competing at Euro 2024 and Copa America. United have had multiple players competing at Euro 2024, so these people won't be back just yet. Bruno Fernandes and Diogo Dalot for Portugal, Luke Shaw, Kobbie Mainoo, Tom Heaton. Of course, he's actually with England. He's their training goalkeeper. Which people forget, the heat is on.
Go on, Tomo. And he's got another year. What a guy.
Exactly. Christian Eriksen, Rasmus Højlund were with Denmark. Scott McTominay was with Scotland. Copa America has taken place in the US, with United having some players featuring there. Garnacho, Martinez, Facundo Palestri. In the Uruguay squad too, it is common for club sides to give extended break to players away on international duty to ensure they have the appropriate rest. They're refreshed for the new season. Because of that, Ten Hag's not going to have the full squad present today at pre-season, as one it would be expected. But there could be some new faces. The expectation is that Ten Hag will be adding Ruud van Nistelrooy, the former Manchester United striker, to his backroom staff, along with Rennie Harker, the current head coach of Go Ahead Eagles in the Netherlands. Those additions are yet to be confirmed by the club, and there is some social media chat this morning that maybe an official announcement could come tomorrow. And actually, it's
got to be pretty soon. We've seen him driving into work.
Exactly. But the hope is they'll be in place for Monday. They are there so they can hit the ground running. As far as Ruud van Nistelrooy, Fabrizio Romano tweeted this morning that Ruud van Nistelrooy already in Manchester to be unveiled as new Manchester United assistant coach. 2-year contract already signed. Van Nistelrooy and Rennie Harker will both be a part of Erik ten Hag's new staff. As far as some names that may or may not be present, firstly, Mason Greenwood. After his loan spell at Getafe has ended, Mason Greenwood is a United player once more and would be typically expected to return to training with the rest of the squad today. However, according to The Athletic, Greenwood is likely to be given additional time off as the club continues to secure a possible sale. Marseille and Lazio are in advanced talks for the 22-year-old. As Flex mentioned earlier on, there were some pictures of him training in Manchester independently. So It's unlikely he's going to be there this morning. What about Jadon Sancho? Well, this one is quite interesting, actually, because The Athletic is saying Jadon Sancho is due to return to Carrington following the end of his loan spell at Borussia Dortmund, even though his differences with Ten Hag remain unresolved. Ten Hag's contract extension makes the 24-year-old's reintegration difficult unless there is a reconciliation. At the start of the window, United were open to listening to offers for Sancho, regardless of their manager's future. An asking price of £40 million is yet to be met, however, with Sancho's salary of more than £200,000 a week, which, by the way, that number is quite debated. And the status as one of United's highest earning players means there are obstacles to a quick sale. Sancho's return is viewed as a change to turn over a new leaf and revive his Old Trafford career, although it is unclear whether there will be clear-the-air talks on his return with Ten Hag at this stage. So that last paragraph is very interesting.
Well, we look here on the channel, we have discussed this. I've quite a few times. I've just popped that one in there, haven't I, Owen? I've just kind of said at a couple of different moments across this whole Sancho thing when we knew it was over. And I went, Owen, is there a chance that Ineos could just come in? It's all new. It's all changed. And yes, I know Eric Ten Hag, whether he's there or not. And they just go, you know what? That was then. This is now. We believe that there's something there. We want to move on from it. Let's try. Or Eric is still the manager. Sorry, the second bit is, could Eric have changed so much that he's like, right, I'm going to get him in. Let's just, it's over. That thing that happened is done. It's new here, as you can see. I want you back, or let's just move on. Would Sancho say, oh, you know what, F this, look, it is what it is. The money, sirens are in the chat already. The sirens are in the chat. The police got something to say. Or is that just the lip service bit of like, yeah, it could always be viewed of that, but the main priority is to get this guy sold. It's just, you know, but then the business side, Owen, if the right proposal does not arrive, Man United aren't going to be, what do they do? If someone's only trying to give 15 million, and Man United, absolutely not. Do they just go, well, you know what? We'll keep him. But he's not going to apologize. What happens here? I'm throwing it to you and the community. What on earth?
I don't know. To answer the question, I mean, like the Mason Greenwood one appears more cut and dry, doesn't it? United don't want to reintegrate him back. And also, there are active talks and offers on the table that are, not necessarily say super advanced, but they're certainly in the process. So that one looks like it is going to resolve itself. The Sancho one, when I was reading that and doing the prep for the show and I saw that, I went, that is so interesting. The fact that The Athletic are basically saying you can't rule anything out when it comes to him. Like, it's going to be easy. So
that last bit.
Well, the expectation is that he's going to be there today. And like we said before, then it's the case of, well, if he's there, what do you do? Do you go, right, well, you're here, so you're training with the first team squad again? But by that point, that's reintegration, and their sessions being held. You can't
reintegrate him if he's not going to be there.
You can't be in a training session with a guy that he's not on speaking terms with. That's actually running the session. Like, surely that's not possible unless there is a situation where he does come back and they just resolve their differences. And Jadon Sancho
maybe Eric might say he can come. He can listen. He's securing the move a lot. I've got no problem. Like because is there a bit where Eric's? I know this is undercutting Eric a little bit, where he's so relieved to still be there and just wants to move forward. He's like, F all that old shit. If he's in the session, fine. I'm going to run my session. You guys have assured me that you're still trying to get a move for him. He's welcome to join in the session until he finds a move. Or would Eric still go? Remember that thing from last time, though.
I think it'd be a bit of both. It'd be like, can he be in the session? Of course he can. He knows what he has to do to be in the session. Just say sorry, no problem. You know what I mean?
Do you think Sancho would go, do you know what, that was then? Let me just say sorry, let's get training. I know I'm going to leave anyway.
I don't think so. It's been ages. I mean, if you're not going to do it, if the longer it goes on, these kind of things, sometimes time's a funny thing, isn't it? Because time does heal all wounds, but also it can, before it does that, it can kind of strengthen your resolve. You know what I mean? So if you have a big fallout with someone, 6 months later, you can be even more steadfast in your position of like, no, F you, you know.
Or you can be, but life's too short.
But then it gets a bit longer. It gets longer than 6 months. It gets like, a couple of years. And you're like, it's been a while. but it's still pretty fresh, isn't it? That's still quite fresh.
Let's have a prediction. What do you think will happen to Sancho today? Do you think he'll train alone?
I have no idea. I would lean more towards he probably trains by himself, and I mean that whole.
Surprised we ain't seen anything yet. What time is it? 10 o'clock.
But we never used to. Well, did we?
Players coming in. We'll see.
Well, actually, no. To be fair, we used to get those pictures of Jadon Sancho outside Carrington posing with fans, didn't you? You know what I mean? We used to see.
Yeah, obviously he's going to keep a low profile, but I'm talking about him driving in.
That's what I mean. So we'll probably, we'll see pictures of him.
There's not been any players that have rocked up yet. It's all about Rude.
But that doesn't mean anything really when you think about it, because like I said, when he was exiled, you still used to see pictures of him arriving, didn't you? Stuff like that. So that
it won't be a shock to see him pull up to Carrington. That's not the shock.
No.
What the shock is we need to let the day transpire or get halfway through and someone gets some info and says, been told that Jadon Sancho was present in the first team training session or he was training with the under-23s or whatever.
Or it depends what it looks like. It might not even be like this. And again, this might go in his favor in the sense of it might not even be like a proper training session. You know what I mean? When you come back and go, what's today? Well, we're not really going to get on the grass. It's just literally just tests. We're just going to, do some sort of test, just check your weight, your body fat percentage, and maybe do a little, do those cardio tests on the treadmill or whatever, and then that it could be.
But they'll all do that though, coming back from that.
Well, that's again that, and the interesting thing is, remember what those stories that were like, well, he can't actually be in where the senior players are because he's that sort of not integrated. But if you're going to do all those tests, surely everyone would be there. So but. Okay. It's something. I mean, we're saying about now, we don't know what's going on. There is no way that, Ten Hag, his staff, Ineos haven't had this conversation amongst themselves.
No, to discuss what happens on the 8th. They're not all looking there going, oh, is he coming? I didn't know he was coming. Someone go get his kit ready. What's happening? What are you doing?
They're not showing up being like,
James here. James here. James at the front gate. He's at the front gate. We talk about James at the front gate. What are we going to do? I don't know.
Yeah. And the little
talkies. Security to Jimmy Murphy Centre. Are we letting him in? Sorry, Jane. What's that? Is he in? Is he in? Your name's not down, Jane. You can't come in, mate. We're not going to do that.
Lovely to see you, Jane. 2 seconds.
We've got Jadon Sancho here with us. Is he allowed in? Yeah.
Called out to Cafe. Call Cafe in reception.
Cafe. Are you on the line? You're online?
The shit doesn't know how to work it.
Mental. Oh, mate, who knows at this club? Who knows at this football club? But obviously, we'll wait and see and bring you news on that later on. Dan Watson says, people are asking for Ineos to get rid of these players and cancel contracts. It's essentially that without actually paying out for the player to go. That's on the Donny vibe. And I agree with you, Dan. Yeah, you're spot on there. Larry says, Owen looks too happy regarding that Van der Beek news. Turning red, trying to hide that smile because you ruined his career. You did. It was your fault.
I know. It's all me. It's all me.
Yeah.
I was the
there.
One.
You go.
I put a hex on him for 4 years.
You did. You did. Absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
Big week. Loads of stuff happening. Of course, there's going to be clearly some official announcement coming one way or the other for whoever it's going to be, but there's going to be more stuff. So as it comes in, we will bring it to you. Of course, the lead up to Wednesday for the big game for England as well, Tuesday as well, Spain and France. So loads going on as the Euros conclude. And we'll bring it to you. Big up to everyone for getting us to 170k subscribers and more now. Big up to all of you for getting to us 930 likes as well. So another 70 odd on the way out. Maybe I think we could get to 1,000. That'd be nice. Big up for everyone watching, and we'll see you again with another show very, very soon. Take care. 170k strong. Big up community. Peace.